Hi, I'm Kate Ceredona, Director of Philanthropy here at the Scleroderma Research Foundation. I'm excited to be here today with all of you and to talk today with Greg Cohen about his commitment to finding a cure for scleroderma and his role as a volunteer for the SRF's Cure Crew. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the SRF's Cure Crew, it is a grassroots volunteer program that raises awareness about scleroderma and also raises funds to support the SRF's research program. Participation is easy and it really can take many forms. Cure Crew volunteers have done anything and everything from reposting and sharing SRF social media stories, getting their employers to donate to the SRF, participate in our research programs, hosting their own fundraising events, or even championing one of our own fundraising or awareness campaigns. Today, I am pleased to be chatting with Greg Cohen. Greg not only lives with scleroderma, but as a Cure Crew member, he makes a direct impact on scleroderma research by being a fierce awareness advocate and a dedicated fundraiser for the SRF. Greg does this by sharing his scleroderma journey on social media, by participating in research and surveys with medical partners, by running marathons to fundraise for research, and he recently filmed a documentary about all of this. And on top of that, did I mention that he is doing all of this while studying for his doctorate? So, Greg, what a full plate. Let's get straight into it. Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for being here today, Greg.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to start off today by talking a bit about your diagnosis in 2017. Since then, you have become such a strong champion for awareness and advocacy. Tell us more about your journey from diagnosis to advocate and why you personally feel like it's important to share your story and share your story so openly.
Sure. Well, when I was first diagnosed back, as you mentioned, in 2017, it was a little bit of a shock to me. I mean, not a little bit, it was a big shock to me. I broke down crying in my doctor's office at the time and then went home and pretty much sulked and was depressed for a few days until my ex-wife at the time had mentioned that I needed to use my diagnosis for something good. And that's kind of what I did. I saw it more as a blessing rather than why did this happen to me, and more as why did this happen for me. And I chose, I think after about 3 days of feeling sorry for myself, that the light bulb went off and I decided that I needed to do something not only for myself, but to help other people, especially other people that were far worse off than I was with the illness. And I think I just started to rack my brain and try to figure out what I could do to build awareness to help, number one, get people to know more about the disease, because before I was diagnosed, I had no idea what scleroderma was. I also wanted people to pronounce it correctly too. But then I wanted to figure out how I could do something also which would fund projects, whether it's research or things for patients, what have you. And I started thinking about things on a global scale and what I could do, because through my networking and getting to know certain support groups and things like that, there's tons of walks that happen. And I know that they're wonderful at raising money and things like that. I wanted something that would attract a larger audience, more of a public audience. And as we all know with scleroderma, there's not a major celebrity or face for the illness. And I kind of decided I was going to take it on myself in a little bit of a way. And I decided to start running marathons because of the numbers of people that marathons the attention that it gets. And ultimately, I wanted to show people as well that even though you have certain diseases and illnesses and challenges in life, that anything's possible.
Wow, Greg, that is just so inspiring and, of course, very important work. And I really think that your approach to raising awareness and funds is extremely thoughtful. So thank you so much. And I'm just going to move on to our next topic here, and something that is very important to me and all of us at the SRF, and that is funding research. So Greg, in addition to raising awareness, you also raise funds from your friends, your networks, your followers, and even strangers. And all of this fundraising is to support the SRF's research program. So can you tell me why you, in particular, think that funding research is important?
I mean, I think it goes back to any time we fund research, and that's ultimately, especially when it comes to chronic illnesses and diseases like scleroderma, is to find a cure. I mean, the Scleroderma Research Foundation's ultimate mission is to go out of business. And the only way that happens is by finding a cure. This way, people don't have to suffer and deal with the illness anymore. So I think first and foremost, it's to find a cure. And then secondly, even if it might take a very long time to find a cure, is research will help us figure out what causes scleroderma, because it's still unknown and a mystery in certain respects. This way, we can maybe help prevent future people from getting diagnosed with scleroderma, and then also to find other sort of therapeutics and ways in which to help mitigate the symptoms and the effects of scleroderma, whether that's things for people who have ILD or people who have Raynaud's like myself or get digital ulcers. Things to make the quality of life for individuals a lot better. And the only way we do that is through research. And honestly, I think awareness, leads to funding for research. It's kind of a two-way street, and funding for research creates more awareness. So I think the two go hand in hand.
Very well put, Greg. Thanks so much. And so I know that there's a lot of people watching here today who might be interested in joining you in your efforts to raise awareness and funds for scleroderma research. And, Greg, what you do, you shine a light on scleroderma in a very particular way, but through doing that, you're demystifying the disease, you're building a community, and you're directing resources to our best hope for a cure, which is research. What would you share with somebody that would like to become an advocate like you, and maybe somebody who wants to join the Cure Crew?
Well, I think first, I tell people they don't need to be like me. I think I get a lot of messages sometimes through social media and things like that, where people are, number one, they're appreciative of what I'm doing and they want to do something, but they tell me, well, I can't run a marathon. And, my response to them is, you don't need to run a marathon. If you're a runner, you can run a mile, you can run 5K, you can share your story that way. I also understand that I am in certain respects unique, or even a unicorn in a way, in the fact that I'm so open and very outward with my illness, where some people are a little bit more reserved, and that's completely understandable because of the way the illness impacts people's lives. But I think the biggest thing is that people who do want to do something, and it could even be behind the scenes, it doesn't need to be in a public space or in a public view, is just to do it. Like, literally start with something small, whether that's doing a walk or doing, having a bake sale, or, maybe doing something else on social media, even if it's not about posting about yourself, but something that resonates with you, that you can get behind and support, rather than something that you want to do, but you realize it's too much to undertake, or things like that. Or even partner with other patients, or partner with SRF, or partner with people who aren't patients, because that way you can help build awareness through people who don't have the illness. At the end of the day, people need to find what's comfortable for them. I think everyone should be on the Cure Crew, or at least do something, even if it's something small, whether you want to shine a light on yourself or just the illness. Because as the analogy I like to use is the piñata analogy, is, it's the first hit isn't what breaks the piñata and all the candy falls out. It's the multiple hits, one after the other. And for scleroderma, which doesn't have as much recognition as some other illnesses that we're aware of in the world, every person leads to a bigger mountain, basically, and will eventually break that piñata, where more people will understand what scleroderma is, know how to pronounce it, understand where to send donations to in order to help fight the illness, and, find a cure or find some other sort of therapeutics to help people. So really it's just about getting in there and doing something, and not just saying you want to do something. It's about actually taking some action.
All right. Well, I have one more final question for you, Greg, if we can squeeze it in. But first, I just want to thank you on behalf of the SRF and on behalf of everybody watching here for taking the time to share your story and to speak about advocacy and to speak about the SRF's Cure Crew, and for your participation. So for my final question, I'm sure everybody here is dying to know what is next for you. Do you have any marathons coming up? And importantly, Greg, where can people follow your journey?
Sure. Well, that's kind of a loaded question because I feel like every day something new is coming up or I'm thinking about something new to do. I just completed the London Marathon 2 weeks ago in London in the rain, which was so much fun.
Congratulations.
And then I just registered for a half marathon on May 21st in Ventura County. It's called Mountains to the Beach. It's a downhill half marathon, 13.1 miles. The next big race I'm doing though is the San Francisco full marathon at the end of July or the mid to end of July. So if people are connected with SRF or live in the San Francisco area, please come out and support or say hi. There may be one or two other races towards the end of the year that I'm looking at doing as well. Haven't completely nailed them down yet. And then the documentary, which we worked on with COVID thrown in about 3 years. We just were in a film festival in Kansas City in conjunction with the NFL draft that just happened. And then we just got selected to be in a film festival in New Jersey in the end of June, beginning of July. And then ultimately, we're looking to stream the documentary because I know a lot of people have been asking to see it. And I really want people to see it. We're looking, I don't know the platform yet. There's some things in the work, but we're hoping, I think sometime, don't quote me on it, but around Scleroderma Awareness Month, which is June. And then I don't know what's next after that. But if people want to follow my journey, which I would love them to do, is they can follow me mostly on Instagram at Gregory_Cohen, or they can go to my Facebook. I know they can, if they want to share my donation page, it's on the SRF website. So those are good ways to get in touch with me.
Well, thanks so much for being here, Greg, and thank you to everybody who's watching today. If you want to know more about Cure Crew, Greg's journey, or how you can make a difference, please go to our website at srfcure.org. And please note your next session will begin automatically in just a couple of minutes. But in the meantime, you'll see a little survey pop up on your screen, and we'd really appreciate it if you could provide some feedback on this session. Thank you so much, and please enjoy the rest of the SRF Patient Forum.